Surprisingly, he had not been attacked at all. Ethan's target is not himself, but... Daniel's gaze sharpened, a sudden realization striking him with crystalline clarity. He glanced around and saw his companion beast, the Gale Eagle, thrown violently by Ethan's thrust. A beautiful hyperbola asked through the air, followed by the sickening crash of the Gale Eagle hitting the ground. Little Eagle. Daniel cried out in alarm, scrambling to retrieve the injured creature back into its containment sphere. Now it's our turn for a one-on-one duel, he declared, but Ethan wouldn't grant him even a breath. He surged forward 15 meters with an ice flash. With a sudden burst of power from his arm, the black dragon's spear shot forth like a tempest. His precision overwhelmed Daniel, leaving them breathless and struggling for purchase. Swift wind kick. As Daniel confronted Ethan with his longsword, he channeled raw wind elemental energy into his right leg. With his first powerful extension, he struck out, creating a sharp whooshing sound. His kick connected squarely with Ethan's frozen shield. Daniel immediately retracted his thigh, his brows furrowing in concentration. The strike had not only failed to scratch Ethan, but had also left a dull ache throbbing in his own leg. That's all. Daniel decisively pressed the recording watch and activated his elemental shield. In an instant, a shimmering layer of energy enveloped him, a clear sign of his elimination by Ethan. I am no match for you, Daniel admitted, speaking the painful truth. You're too kind, you aren't bad either, Ethan replied, clasping his hands together with a slight, knowing smile. In his view, Daniel was perfectly balanced in every aspect, possessing no glaring weaknesses, yet also lacking any obvious defining brilliance. They were simply mismatched, a matter of insufficient raw power to bridge the gap. Seeing that Ethan had defeated Daniel without even exerting himself, a wave of cheers erupted from the group of senior students watching the game. Many female students regarded Ethan with undisguised adoration, treating him like an idol. Ethan activated the recording watch. He saw his name listed as Ethan, his student D as 20520070001, and his current points at 3350. His rank was 2 out of 1424. He was currently in second place, with Clara holding the top spot. This meant that Clara's side had already defeated Marcus. It was predictable. Both Clara's grass type and the Deepwater Dragon hatchling's water type could steadily suppress Marcus's earth type. Judging purely by elemental attributes, Marcus's chances of victory were negligible. It's time to make the final decision. Just as Ethan opened the map to pinpoint Clara's location, a sound ripped through the forest, a deep, guttural roar. Suddenly, from the depths of the woods, the colossal figure of a creature manifested. The deafening roar startled a flock of birds roosting in nearby trees. Ethan's gaze snapped toward the source, and what he saw stole his breath. Its entire body was draped in a fiery red mane, and its musculature swelled beneath skin as vast as a small mountain. Most striking were its pupils, twin pools of incandescent crimson that seemed to burn with raging flames and contained boundless, primal vitality. The sheer presence of the beast radiated an overwhelming sense of dread. A few licking flames ignited on its gently swaying tail. This is a flaming tide at the lower level of the third tier. Not only Ethan but Daniel also noticed the arrival. To his surprise, when Ethan saw the creature, he did not falter or retreat. Instead, they quickened their pace, moving toward the beast. In fact, Daniel had expected Ethan to be able to dispatch most low-level third-tier ferocious beasts. But this was a Tier 3, lower-ranked fire-element monster. Yet, based on his previous battles, Ethan did not seem impulsive. He remained incredibly calm and collected. So, instead of leaving the underground world with the patrolling senior students, he stayed put to observe Ethan's performance. Since Daniel wasn't departing, the entire group of supervising students naturally held their positions in wait. If Ethan were defeated, the Yuan energy shield would be ready to extract him from the underground realm. Is this the third-tier low-rank ferocious beast placed here? A low-tier third-order monster, and a fire type at that. I admit it's strong, but isn't it being overly arrogant? Perhaps Ethan is a master of attribute reversal. Wasn't Alex a match for him just now? That's right. Go, Ethan. Ethan will win. Ethan's presence ignited the senior students, causing a massive uproar in their hearts. On the mentor's seat, James smiled again beside Thomas. The flaming tiger, a third-tier lower-level beast, was not only an entire realm higher than them but also a fire element threat. Ethan, he thought, let's see how you handle this. Ethan was unaware that thousands of eyes were fixed upon him as he prepared to face the flaming tiger. All he knew was that he had to strike at its core, its head. Under the expectant gaze of the crowd, he took a few quick steps forward before suddenly unleashing an ice flash charge. Simultaneously, he swung the black dragon spear wildly with his right hand, creating a whistling sound like a black wheel of fire. 4 icicles orbited him like sentinels. Ice explosion. Just as the flaming tiger coiled to launch its next attack, Ethan's black dragon spear arrived. He roared, and a massive torrent of ice elemental energy, channeled through the spear, engulfed the entire body of the flaming tiger. As the beast prepared to ignite its flames and melt away the layer of frost, a colossal ice explosion erupted. The flame tiger's body was blasted with multiple fissures. Fur, flesh, and crystalline shards mixed together, scattering across the ground in a sizzling mess. Though it did not die instantly, it was critically wounded, teetering on the brink of death. In the next 4 seconds, Ethan unleashed no less than 10 devastating shots. Even as the flaming tiger struggled to maintain its life force, flames still flickered weakly across its hide. It was like a candle fighting an unstoppable gale. It could not last much longer. They were utterly outmatched by Ethan's relentless offense. Thus, Ethan completely extinguished the life of the flaming tiger. A system notification chimed in Ethan's mind. You have defeated the Tier 3 low-rank ferocious beast, the flaming tiger, and gained 4,000 evolution points. The moment the creature's life force dissipated entirely, a system notification chimed in Ethan's mind. 4,000 evolution points. A mere Tier 3 low-level beast can yield that much. Ethan's eyes gleamed with sudden excitement, his emotions surged. 4,000 points. Now he possessed nearly 10,000 evolution points. Breaking through the mid-level of the second tier was no longer a distant dream. He also felt an intense curiosity about how many points killing a low-level Tier 3 beast would yield. This was the only one. He opened the watch and saw his current points at 133.50 and his rank at 1 out of 1424. Wow. 6 figures. He had hoped to witness Ethan and the flaming tiger fight to a bloody conclusion, hoping to glean some tactical wisdom from their clash. How does one counter elemental weaknesses? What specialized movement techniques are required? The question spun through his mind. But unexpectedly, this third-tier lower-level flame tiger couldn't even withstand a handful of Ethan's moves. He had only seconds to observe the exchange. How could he possibly learn anything meaningful from such a fleeting spectacle? Daniel stood dumbfounded. Yet, despite his shock, he shook his head slightly, murmuring to himself, Ethan is still holding back. If he had unleashed that move on me, my Yuan energy shield would have been triggered in a single blow. The seniors patrolling the area shared the same stunned silence. This flame tiger was no mere weak beast. It was an apex predator, fiercely formidable. Even for them, juniors, confronting it alone was impossible. It required coordinated effort from several people. Yet, this freshman handled the entire ordeal by himself, and with such effortless grace.
A genius!
Truly a prodigy. Several senior students couldn't suppress their internal sighs of admiration. It ended just like that. I thought the flaming tiger would pose a challenge to Ethan, but I never imagined it would be this easy. Ah, Ethan is so handsome. I adore him. Other female students can scream their adoration, but what are you, a grown man, yelling about? So what? I hail from Whisperwind Valley. Ethan's performance had sent an undeniable shockwave through every senior student present. It sparked a sudden, heated buzz of discussion among them. His strength was such that even senior sister Sarah couldn't compare to him back then. Or Aethelgard Academy is truly brimming with talent. A palpable sense of pride shone in the eyes of the seniors. Having studied and grown within the walls of Aethelgard Academy for so long, seeing such an outstanding student emerge filled them with genuine excitement and deep-seated pride. As for James's emotions were a complex knot. He was naturally deeply displeased that Thomas's student, whom he had previously been at odds with, had not only failed to defeat the flame tiger, but had instead been so easily dispatched by it. Yet, Aethelgard Academy had produced such an exceptional talent. As both a mentor and a member of this institution, A flicker of pride pierced his annoyance. He sighed. Two conflicting emotions wrestled within him until he could only let out a deep sigh, turning away from the mentor's station. Thomas noticed James's departure but said nothing. The captain went to the underground world alone to hunt monsters. We cannot contact him. We must take Ethan down. We can promise him the position of vice captain a year from now. If anything goes wrong, I will take full responsibility. Ryan, the vice captain of the Silver Wolf team, spoke with absolute conviction, leaving no room for debate. The teammate beside him nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Clara, her long, slender legs propelling her forward, tracked Ethan's location on the map. Small red dots marked various points. Next to each dot was a data readout detailing the new student associated with it. The name read Ethan. The student ID was 20520070001. His points were 133,500. His rank was 1 out of 1424, but first place with a score in the six figures. Clara smiled faintly. It seemed Ethan had indeed slain that low-level ferocious beast. Her points must have increased exponentially. There were no other new students nearby. This was the only logical conclusion she could draw. Even so, it immediately triggered his elemental shield, thus avoiding elimination himself. Instead, they accelerated the journey toward Ethan's coordinates. On the opposite side, Ethan glanced at the small red dot on the map that was steadily closing in on him, raising an eyebrow slightly. "Clara, do you also intend to compete with yourself?" he mused internally. About 10 minutes later, they met. "Ethan, although I already knew you would secure first place, I still wanted to offer my congratulations." Clara smiled warmly. "You flatter me," Ethan replied calmly. "I know that even Robert and I together wouldn't be a match for you, but I would still like to have a friendly spar with you one-on-one. Is that want?" Clara's bright eyes blinked with genuine request. "Sure, freshman competition isn't over yet." Ethan nodded in agreement. The battle was about to commence. Clara raised her longsword, and instantly, several thorny vines wrapped around the blade, amplifying its destructive force. Simultaneously, Ethan coated his black dragon spear with a thin sheen of frost. In reality, it was pure ice-based elemental energy flowing over the metal. While he refrained from using the powerful skill, Ice Explosion, Ethan still did not hold back significantly. Clang! The longsword clashed against the spear, sending up a loud metallic ring. After several rounds, Clara was forced into a steady retreat. She took several measured steps back, breathing heavily, her chest rising and falling slightly. A few glistening beads of sweat traced paths down her forehead. Again, Clara raised her longsword and charged forward once more. As expected, she remained no match for Ethan. A few minutes later, "That was truly satisfying to fight," Clara said, reaching up to wipe the sweat from her brow. A gentle smile gracing her lips. "Thank you, Ethan." He immediately activated his own elemental energy shield. By the rules of the competition, this meant that Clara had defeated him. At this moment, only Ethan remained alive in the deepest sector of the underground world. Another survivor was located in the shallow area. Similarly, fierce fighting raged within the shallow zone, ultimately assuring the survival of those remaining. Of course, nothing could change it. Ethan was the undisputed number one. She smiled, and her smile is so beautiful. "I'm in love." Several senior students, gazing at Clara's radiant smile displayed on the monitor, couldn't help but become restless, lost in daydreams. "You're right, but she wasn't smiling at you." The person next to him rolled their eyes and cut through his fantasy without hesitation. "The freshman competition has concluded. All freshmen, please exit the underground world immediately." Although the official time had not arrived, the freshman competition was effectively over. The broadcast repeated the warning several times. Ethan did not linger. He left the underground world with Clara, Daniel, the patrolling senior students, and a few others. He knew within the Aethelgard Academy's underground realm, the strongest ferocious beast was a third-tier high-level creature. Where had these beasts gone? Nature itself must have retreated to an even deeper place. Ethan guessed that the duration of the sealed skill would not last much longer than 7 days, which was why the broadcast urged the new students to depart quickly. It would take Ethan several days to fully emerge from the subterranean world. Yet, when he and his group finally reached the exit passage of the school's underground network, They were met by a sizable crowd, a mix of returning seniors and eager freshmen. This gathering was no mandated assembly or required credit exercise. It was a spontaneous wave of genuine welcome. Ethan's performance in the depths had been nothing short of spectacular, earning him an immediate and substantial following. A collective gasp rippled through the assembled students as he appeared. Ethan offered a warm smile and a cowl wave, gesturing to the crowd with open hands. "Principal. Wait, is that the principal?" "Sir, look, it really is. It's him." Suddenly, someone pointed excitedly behind them. Following the gaze, everyone's eyes fixed on a group of figures who had arrived. Leading them was none other than Robert, the esteemed principal of Awakener Academy. He walked toward Ethan, placing a hand reassuringly on his shoulder. A look of profound satisfaction crossed his face. "Ethan," he announced, his voice carrying easily through the murmuring crowd. "I saw your performance in the underground world. You did exceptionally well. Come to my office tomorrow." "Principal Robert, I understand," Ethan replied with a slight nod. The principal then turned his gaze over the 3 students standing beside him. "And you 3 also performed admirably. You are clearly leaders among our class of 52 freshmen." "Thank you for the compliment, Principal," the trio responded in unison. "Very well. I have other matters to attend to, so I must leave you now." With a final wave, he departed. A man who was unfamiliar to Ethan stepped forward. "I am David, the mentor of calculating the spoils value this time. Your loot hasn't been tallied yet, has it? Follow me. I will take you there." "Thank you for your help, Professor David." The group murmured together before following him away from the main gathering point. The other students, both new and returning, drifted behind them, their curiosity palpable. They were all desperate to know the final value of the spoils won by the top 4 freshmen in this year's competition. After all, 4th place carried a 150% bonus, 2nd and 3rd held a 200% multiplier, and 1st place boasted a staggering 400%. For the convenience of everyone present, the Redemption Center was located within the same building. The group followed David to the designated area, leaving behind a dense crowd of expectant faces. "Let's calculate the total value of these students' spoils together," David instructed the 3 staff members overseeing the process. "Understood, Professor." The 3 assistants nodded with professional eagerness. The 4 mentors began counting, dividing the task among themselves. Marcus's results came first, as he had accumulated the fewest items. "Marcus, the total value of your loot is 980,000. With a 150% bonus. The final result is 2,450,000. The figure hung in the air a staggering 2.45 million yuan. While it paled in comparison to the 2.54 million Ethan had earned at Ironwood Borough, it was still a sum that would represent years of saving for the average onlooker. A wave of murmurs swept through the crowd. 2.45 million. I'm so envious. Sive, I was born in the wrong era. Why didn't I participate in such a lucrative freshman competition back then? The only placed 4th, you should aim for the top 3 at least. Don't jump to conclusions, the results for the other 2 haven't been announced yet. Some were openly envious, while others simply waited, their anticipation building. The bonuses for the next tiers, especially the 1st place winner with its colossal 400% multiplier, promised a far more breathtaking revelation. Marcus himself felt a genuine thrill, though he wasn't as outwardly shocked as his peers. His family was already quite wealthy. Next, Daniel's results were announced. "Daniel, your total value is 1.4 million. With a 200% bonus, the final result is 4.2 million. The announcement immediately reignited the crowd's buzz. 7 days for 4.2 million yuan, that was an average daily profit of 600,000. The shock rippled through them like a physical wave. "Clara," the staff member continued smoothly, "your total spoils value is 1.9 million. With a 200% bonus, the final result is 5.7 million. Envy, subtle and sometimes overwhelming, washed over the students. Many felt a sudden ache in their teeth, the pang of longing for such wealth. Clara's mind drifted away from the numbers. She sent a silent message to her companion beast Xiaolan. "You did wonderfully." For Clara, 5.7 million was merely pocket change. What mattered was Xiaolan's genuine effort and success. Thank you, Master. Little Blue's sweet voice echoed only in her heart. Perhaps it was David, the mentor who had been meticulously calculating Ethan's spoils, who timed the reveal perfectly, saving the grand finale for last. Or perhaps his inventory simply contained more treasures. Finally, all eyes turned to Ethan. Ethan, David announced, his voice ringing with exceptional clarity and volume. Your total value of spoils is 3.05 million. With a 400% bonus, the final result is 15.25 million. Unlike the measured tones of the other staff members, David's announcement was like dropping an enormous, glittering bomb into already churning water. The students, whose emotions had been running high, stared wide-eyed, momentarily speechless. 15.25 million blue star coins, a number that defied comprehension, a sum in the 8 figures. Snap, sap, a sound broke the silence. Soon, others followed suit. The applause started tentatively but quickly swelled into a roaring ovation. Even Marcus, Daniel, and Clara joined in, their cheers echoing Ethan's undeniable strength and deserved triumph. That's incredible, Clara murmured to herself, her gaze fixed on him, a genuine warmth replacing the earlier envy. With this, Ethan won't have to worry about money. He won't need to venture into the underground world so often, and he won't be so exhausted. The applause intensified, becoming thunderous. It lasted for an impossibly long time. Many young men clapped with all their might, engaging in a silent competition of volume and duration. Finally, Ethan himself couldn't contain the moment any longer. He raised his hands, offering a graceful wave, and slowly, the roaring applause began to subside. These star coins can be transferred to you now. Please withdraw your bank cards, David announced, his voice carrying a crisp finality. The group nodded in unison, retrieving their bank cards from the folds of their spatial rings. A mechanical chime echoed through the air. A synthesis force intuned that the savings card account ending in 62 had received a transfer of 152,500,000 yuan on a specific date at a specific time. The current balance was announced. To be honest, even after the staggering sum had materialized and been confirmed in his bank account, Ethan felt a profound sense of disorientation. The sheer weight of the number was almost unreal. Though he had braced himself for this moment, hearing David announce the 15.25 million blue star coins had sent a jolt through him. And when the transfer finally completed, his heart hammered against his ribs once more, a frantic drumbeat of disbelief and exhilaration. All right, David concluded, sweeping his hand as if dismissing the matter. All the blue star coins have been distributed. As for the other resources, they will be delivered to the dormitory entrance by designated personnel within 3 days at most. The group exchanged slight nods of acknowledgement. David then turned his attention to them. Ethan, Clara, and Daniel, the 3 of you, come with me. A different mentor, who had remained silent until now, spoke up, noticing the puzzled expressions on their faces. He quickly clarified, every year at our school's freshman competition, we take a group photo of the top 3 as a memento. You don't mind, do you? The 3 of them didn't hesitate. They certainly wouldn't mind. Competition was secondary, friendship came first. If they couldn't defeat their rivals in this year's challenge, there was no point in harboring resentment. The true spirit lay not in hatred, but in the relentless drive to improve and constantly surpass one's own limits, the mindset of the truly strong. The 3 followed their mentor through a section of the campus dominated by a colossal stone monument. Engraved upon its surface, in dark red characters that flowered like dragon scales, was the motto of Aethergood Academy. The tutor then produced a camera. Though Ethan didn't recognize the brand, he could tell instantly that it was an object of considerable value. They gathered before the massive stone tablet, striking the pose at Ethan centered, Clara to his left, and Daniel to his right. Smile more and don't forget to strike a proper pose. The mentor chuckled lightly. That's what I said. Suddenly, the tutor frowned, a flicker of something passing over his face, a sense that something essential was missing. Then, with an almost theatrical gesture, he retrieved 3 trophies from the space on his finger ring. These were the symbols of first, second, and third place in this year's freshman competition. But these were no ordinary bronze, gold, or silver cups. Each trophy was crafted from materials of rare and profound beauty. The third place award rested upon a base of polished obsidian, its surface meticulously detailed, speaking to countless hours of painstaking craftsmanship. The runner-up's cup shimmered with the breathtaking duality of purple and pink crystals, catching the sunlight and scattering dazzling rainbows. And the championship trophy, it was made of aurora glass, a rare and precious material. Its surface held a subtle, ethereal glow, as if it had condensed the very essence of sun and moon, symbolizing the purest brilliance of top-tier achievement. Not bad, not bad, the mentor murmured, nodding in satisfaction as they stood together, holding their respective accolades. 3, 1, oh. With the sharp snap of the camera, the group photo materialized on the screen, a perfect capture of their moment. From this day forward, they would forever be remembered as the top 3 of the freshman competition at Athelgard Academy. Naturally, this photograph would also find its way into all 3 of their hands. Ethan, Clara said, her voice ringing with competitive spirit, I won't admit defeat so easily. I will challenge you again when I get another chance. I'd be happy to go all the way, Daniel countered, a grin playing on his lips. Ethan, congratulations, I must head back now, see you next time. With the photo taken, their purpose was fulfilled. Daniel and Clara departed in succession, each carrying the weight and pride of their own trophy. Ethan did not linger. After carefully storing the Aurora Glass Award into his spatial ring, he turned and walked away. Ethan, join our Extreme Ice team. Most of us have awakened ice-type abilities, making us a perfect match for someone with your talent. Let's work together and elevate each other. Ethan, why don't you consider the Water Blue team? We have so many beautiful upperclassmen on our roster. Ethan had barely taken a few steps when he found himself encircled by a dozen teams of students. Many had been captivated by his performance, and were now vying to recruit him into their ranks. When Ethan left the underground world, they had already begun strategizing how to seize the initiative. But witnessing the valuation of the spoils, the sheer magnitude of the achievement had forced them into silence. And then came the group photo. Such a sacred moment could not be disturbed. Now that Ethan was finally alone, it presented the perfect opportunity. Ethan, a voice cut through the crowd. It belongs to Ryan, vice captain of the Silver Wolf team. We sincerely invite you to join us. Not only will you gain access to numerous resources and opportunities to enter the underground world alongside our veteran members, but after 1 year, you will directly earn the position of vice captain. The moment a representative from the Silver Wolf team spoke, the other teams wisely fell into silence. This was Ryan's signature move. A sigh rippled through the crowd. Ah, the Silver Wolf team is here, someone whispered. They've promised him vice captaincy. He will definitely choose them. We are out of luck. Perhaps he will refuse, another murmured. Captain Ryan, Ethan interjected smoothly, his tone measured and thoughtful. Please give me your contact information first. I need time to consider joining the team. I'll give you my answer once I've thought it through. Ethan had given this matter careful consideration before speaking. This was the subtle art of language. It was far better to feign deep contemplation for a few days than to issue an immediate refusal. Moreover, by leveraging the powerful influence of the Silver Wolf team, he could subtly dismiss every other group with minimal effort. Hearing this, Ryan's gaze sharpened. He understood exactly what Ethan implied. He let out a theatrical sigh and handed over his contact details. Then, without another word, he retreated with his team. When Ethan finally returned to the dormitory, his roommate, Liam, greeted him with a bright smile. Brother Ethan, you made so much money this time. How about treating us to a celebratory meal? Liam was also present among the students who had gathered to greet them. Sure, he replied, feeling buoyant and in good spirits. By the way, brother Ethan, Liam asked, his brow furrowed with curiosity. Where did that mentor take you 3? Ethan looked puzzled. They took a group photo with me, and they even gave me a trophy. He held up the award made of brilliant aurora glass for Liam to see before carefully stowing it back into his spatial ring. It's so beautiful, Liam breathed, reaching out as if to touch the memory. Please let me look at it one more time. After a brief exchange with Liam, Ethan ascended the spiral staircase to the second floor of the dormitory and into his room. For 7 grueling days, they had been trapped in the subterranean world, relentlessly hunting monstrous beasts. The haul was substantial. He had amassed 15.2 million blue star coins on his own. For a long time, at least, The worry of funding would be lifted from his shoulders. It was a profound relief. Yet, spending second consecutive days deep beneath the earth had taken its toll. An overwhelming exhaustion settled over him. Ethan let out a massive yawn. The moment he crossed the threshold into his bedroom, he collapsed onto the bed, sinking instantly into a deep, restorative sleep. Ethan finally surfaced from slumber at 10 o'clock in the evening. He left the room, washed up in the bathroom, and subjected himself to a bracing cold shower. As he blow-dried his hair afterward, Ethan noticed a faint vibration emanating from his phone, a clear signal that a message or notification had arrived. He activated the screen. It was the Heart at Aethergard Academy app. The content of the notice made him pause. You performed exceptionally well in the freshman competition. Therefore, in accordance with the special admissions agreement, you have earned 1,000 credits. 1,000 credits. Ethan felt a genuine jolt of surprise. It was crucial to remember that at Aethergard Academy, many desirable resources could only be redeemed through points. On campus forums, he often saw posts detailing students exchanging Blue Star coins for academic credits, typically at a rate of 15,000 coins per credit. Back in the mission center, rumors suggested the peak exchange rate was closer to 20,000 coins per credit. But upon reflection, given that had claimed first place in the freshman competition, receiving 1,000 credits felt perfectly reasonable. How should I spend these 1,000 credits? Ethan rested his chin on his hand, lost in contemplation. Weapons. The first place winner was entitled to a specially customized weapon, something far superior and more suited to him than anything available through the school's resource exchange office, even those requiring credits. Battle suit. Only a grade alloy battle suits and above required credit redemption. He didn't need such high-level protection right now. After eliminating the first two options, only one remained. Cultivation. Without hesitation, Ethan placed an order for a bottle of second-tier frozen essence liquid, costing 20 credits. He had noticed this liquid before. Applying it to his entire body could accelerate the absorption and exchange of ambient energy, while providing a stabilizing effect on his internal reserves. It was immensely beneficial for both advancing one's spiritual realm and tempering the physical body. Aside from being slightly pricey, there were absolutely no drawbacks. Ethan ordered the one bottle to test its efficacy. If it proved useful, he would add more to his cart. The phone rang shortly after the order was placed. Ethan picked up, seeing the caller ID Jessica. "Hey Ethan, you should have received your credits by now, right? Hope they aren't too few." "No, Mo," he replied with a smile. 1,000 credits is better than the combined offers from the other 3 schools. "That's good. I hope you can get 1,000 next year. Wishing you smooth cultivation. Gotta go now." Jessica hung up. After drying his hair, Ethan's stomach let out a loud growl, prompting him to order some takeout via the Heart at Aethergard Academy app. It's time to see what else I've gained from the underground world. Sitting back on his large bed, Ethan suddenly had an idea and summoned his control panel. He saw his name listed as Ethan. His evolution points were 10100. His special ability was Ice Crown, rated S grade. His level was lower second tier, marked for advancement. His spirit reading was 371 Hz. His Chi and blood reserves were 883 calories. He had several skills listed: Marksmanship Advanced, Melee Combat Intermediate, Ice Ring D grade Intermediate, Ice Flash B grade Beginner, Ice Blade A grade Beginner, Frozen Shield A grade Beginner, Ice Blast Aid Intermediate, and Detective Skill S grade Beginner. Finally, his body tempering technique was Profound Nether Ice Soul Body, rated S grade at second level. Everywhere they looked, the upward arrow marked an upgrade. Apart from his core body tempering technique, every other skill was eligible for advancement. The third level of body tempering technique involves tempering the meridians. Ethan murmured to himself. There are 20 in the human body, the 12 regular meridians, and the 8 extraordinary meridians. Completing this is incredibly difficult. No 10,000 evolution points aren't enough. He opened his phone and quickly searched for more information, gaining a clearer understanding of the process. Let's break to a higher realm first. Without hesitation, he pressed the button next to his current rank. His evolution points dropped by 7,000. His realm advanced from lower second tier to middle second tier. At the moment of breakthrough, Ethan felt an explosive surge of primordial energy erupting within him. He quickly closed his eyes, sat cross-legged on the bed, and began the arduous process of elevating his cultivation level. Meanwhile, in Liam's bedroom, "Mum, let me tell you, your son is truly successful. He placed 15th in this year's freshman competition." Liam was engaged in a video call with his mother. He spoke to her with a smile that held genuine pride. This ranking surpassed his initial expectations, and how could he not be happy? Smiles were infectious. Seeing him so pleased, Ethan's mother beamed back, her face alight with joy. "Our James has made something of himself, haha," she exclaimed. Ofcom chuckled, patting his chest dramatically. "Don't you even know who fathered the son?" Suddenly, a powerful surge of elemental energy erupted from the room. Its intensity was so profound that it seemed unaffected by the surrounding walls. Ethan's pupils instantly widened, his face froze in utter disbelief. "James, what is wrong on your end?" his mother asked, concern etched into her voice. Seeing Ethan's expression change so drastically, he quickly recovered. "It's nothing, Mum. Just, my roommate is making a breakthrough. He's amazing, he's the #1 in this freshman competition bar." Liam maintained an air of casual nonchalance, though internally, he was completely numb. He had long heard Ethan had broken through to the lower level of the second tier during the freshman competition. This could only be the middle stage of the second tier. How much time had passed? A week. Ethan began questioning the very meaning of life. He felt as if he was playing a hacked version of reality. "Oh, is that so? Then keep up the good work," Ethan's mother said warmly. "Don't fall too far behind others." 2 hours later, Ethan finally felt the monumental surge of breakthrough energy wash over him. He opened his eyes, a profound sense of altered reality washing away the fatigue. He immediately checked his attributes. His name was Ethan. His evolution points were 3,100. His special ability was Ice Crown, an S-level skill. His REM level was mid-second tier, and his spirit measured 451 Hz. His Chi and blood energy totaled 1,053 calories. Before this moment, his spirit had hovered at a meager 371 as, and his blood energy barely scraped past the 883 call mark. Now, he stood at 451 Hc. His blood energy had not only shattered the kilocalorie barrier, but soared to an impressive 1,053 calories. What truly stunned him was the sheer volume of elemental energy now coursing through his veins. With his body saturated with raw power, Ethan felt capable of unleashing 3 intermediate-level ice explosion spells back-to-back, yet still retaining a substantial reserve of full 10 to 20% of his total elemental capacity remained. Next, he simultaneously pushed through the limitations of his core ice techniques: Ice Blade, Rosen, Fire Shield, and Ice Flash. All 3 skills ascended to the intermediate proficiency level. The cost for Blade was notably lower than the others. He realized that his frequent use of the skill, even without deliberate practice, had already honed its foundation. As the points were deducted, a massive torrent of knowledge flooded into his mind, a dizzying influx of memories, as if he had spent countless nights and days mastering these techniques in solitude. Phew, incredible, Ethan breathed out, letting the exhaustion wash over him. The upgrades were staggering. As an A-level skill, both Ice Blade and Frozen Shield saw their damage output and maximum range boosted by nearly 50%. Even the B-level Ice Flash increased its maximum displacement distance by a solid 40%, reaching 25 meters, all while maintaining its reliable duration. Though the breakthrough process had been utterly draining, the exhilarating rush of newfound power made him lose track of time. When he finally came to his senses, the clock read well past midnight. The taker container, battered by the evening breeze, seemed to whisper a mocking little taunt. "You think you're so high and mighty, don't you?" Ethan fudged downstairs, placed the cooled food into the microwave, reheated it, and ate his late-night meal in wary silence. The next day, Ethan managed to locate Principal Robert's office by asking Thomas. He knocked politely on the solid oak door. "Come in." Robert's voice drifted out from within. Ethan opened the door and stepped inside. "Hello, Principal Robert. Please have a seat." Robert nodded slightly, gesturing toward a plush sofa nearby. Ethan complied, sitting down while Robert settled himself on the cushions opposite him. The principal's usually meticulous expression was softened by a rare, genuine smile. Ethan, the performance was quite remarkable. Few freshmen managed to break through to the lower level of the second tier during this competition. In the last 4 years, you are the first. Ethan scratched his head, offering a modest smile. Principal Robert, you flatter me. I was merely lucky. Now, Robert chuckled gently. Well, your comprehension is exceptional. It is absolutely inseparable from your own relentless hard work. The warmth of the principal's smile made Ethan feel slightly self-conscious. He remembered the grave seriousness in Robert's eyes at the opening ceremony. The contrast between then and now was vast. Wait, judging by your aura, you've broken through to the mid-second tier. Robert narrowed his gaze, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. Wes, Ethan confirmed quietly. Since everyone else had already figured it out, there was no point in maintaining secrecy. Excellent. Outstanding. Robert clapped him lightly on the shoulder. 3 consecutive bursts of approval that clearly signaled his pleasure. Now let's discuss how you plan to handle the freshman competition at the 4 top universities a month from now. Robert's lips curved into a knowing smile. A competition involving freshmen from the 4 most prestigious universities, and it will be held in the underground world. Ethan asked, confusion coloring his tone. No, this will be conducted within a virtual reality environment jointly developed by the 5 superpowers. Robert corrected smoothly. After all, the students sent by those 4 elite institutions are undoubtedly the cream of the crop. He leaned forward slightly. It is crucial to improve your strength at the start of the school year. Any serious injury now would have an indelible impact on your future cultivation path. That's why we must use virtual reality to ensure safety. Oh, I see. Ethan nodded in understanding. Our school's Special Abilities Center has set up specialized equipment for this purpose. You should go and try it out, Robert suggested. Dustin replied. He was unaware that such a facility even existed within the Superpowers Hall. In fact, he didn't know it existed at all. Virtual reality. It must be a thing designed to simulate combat scenarios, Ethan mused internally. Gaining experience in real fighting is invaluable for my growth. Also, Robert continued, his tone shifting slightly. Some years ago I acquired this skill book within a secret realm opened by a powerful being. Unfortunately, I awakened fighting type ability myself, so it was useless to me. Seeing your connection with such things, I feel compelled to give it to you. Robert walked to the bookshelf beside him and retrieved an object. It was a skill book exceptionally thick, suggesting its value must be immense. Principal Robert, how can this be? I cannot accept something so valuable. Ethan quickly waved his hand in refusal. Though he desperately wanted it, he knew that refusing outright would be unwise. This required the subtle art of accepting through apparent rejection. Accepting this gift comes with a condition. Can you lead our Aethelgard Academy to first place in this competition for freshmen from the 4 prestigious universities? Robert smiled faintly and waited. Of course. Ethan nodded, reaching out to take the skill book. As his fingers brushed against the cover, he realized it was no ordinary volume, it was an SS-level skill book. Extreme Ice Illusion Killing Array. SS-level skill generates several ice swords around the user, which can be commanded to attack or defend within a certain range. Ethan's eyes immediately lit up. He could already visualize the sheer spectacle of wielding this SS-tier ability. Ethan, Robert chuckled, his good mood evident. You say you don't want it, but I can tell you are quite envious, aren't you? Haha, you've found me out. Ethan laughed, scratching the back of his neck. By the way, Robert continued, shifting gears. I noticed you haven't acquired a companion beast yet. You should visit the beast egg sales point at school. They offer the free eggs. While it might not be overwhelmingly powerful, it makes for an excellent transitional pet or provides significant emotional value. Thank you, Principal Robert, Ethan murmured, his gratitude genuine and heartfelt. Leaving the principal's office, Ethan felt a surge of giddy excitement that propelled him toward the beast egg sales area. He dismissed the practical concern that the companion beasts sold here might not be formidable fighters with a wave of dismissive thought. At the very least, they were free companions, a bonus he could not refuse. Even if their purpose was merely to provide emotional ballast and companionship, they represented an invaluable treasure. The shop stood beneath a magnificent, imposing structure. Through the expansive glass frontage, Ethan could discern several distinct chambers, some radiating a damp, cool chill, while others hummed with dry, temperate warmth. It was clear that this careful environmental control was designed to shepherd optimal growth for the eggs within. Above the entrance, the words, "Beast Egg Sales Office," were elegantly engraved, overshadowed by the most striking feature, a colossal model of a hatched beast egg, poised as if ready to spring to life. As Ethan stepped outside into the bustling thoroughfare, he immediately spotted a couple emerging through the automatic doors. In their arms, they cradled two long-eared rabbits, one with delicate blue ears, the other with soft pink ones. The blue-eared rabbit was a whirlwind of restless energy, attempting several failed escapes from the boy's grasp. Conversely, the girl held her companion close. The pink-eared rabbit blinked its large eyes slowly, remaining perfectly serene in her embrace. Their faces were alight with sweet smiles, they radiated pure contentment. Watching them, Ethan could not help but picture the kind of loyal, joyful companion he might one day acquire. Just then, a familiar figure rounded the corner and walked directly toward him. "Senior brother Michael." Ethan waved enthusiastically, calling out, "Junior brother Ethan." Hearing his voice, Michael's face instantly lit up with surprise, and he strode over. "Congratulations, junior brother Ethan, on taking first place in the freshman competition." He was the first to give a hearty thumbs up. "You fear me, you flatter me." Ethan waved a hand dismissively, his tone laced with practiced modesty. "Hey, don't be so humble. Don't let my level 51 senior brother fool you. I certainly'd not solo a tier 3 low-rank flame tiger right now." Michael chuckled, then paused, considering the surroundings. "I came pick up some nutrient solution for my little white dog." "Junior brother Ethan, are you here looking at beast eggs?" Michael knew that Ethan did not currently possess his own companion beast. Despite him, this sales point was a sprawling complex far too large to house only egg vendors. It was an entire ecosystem of related merchandise. To the astute observer, it spoke volumes about extending the industrial chain and maximizing product value. To be precise, Ethan smiled faintly. "No. Principal Song asked me to come here to collect one." "Oh, it seems Principal Song values you highly," Michael murmured, a hint of genuine admiration in his voice. He straightened up, adopting a more serious posture. "This year's competition for freshmen from the 4 top universities should be held at Aethelgard Academy. Junior, you better your absolute best and crush those other schools." And with that final word, Michael clapped Ethan on the shoulder before happily carrying his bag of nutrient solution back toward his dormitory. "Absolutely," Ethan replied, a slight curve to his lips, before stepping into the heart of the beast egg sales area. Upon entering, Ethan paused, taking in the scene. The space was meticulously organized, segmented by elemental type fire, water, earth, each section dedicated to a specific lineage of companion beast. A staff member approached him at the counter, offering a warm smile. "Hello. What kind of companion beast are you looking to acquire?" "My name is Ian," he stated simply. "Principal Song asked me to come here to collect a beast egg." The staff member's eyes widened in recognition. "Ethan. The Ethan who won first place in this year's freshman competition. Principal Song mentioned it just now," the staff member said, their smile growing even more enthusiastic as they moved away from the counter. "Please, follow me." A different employee intercepted them. "Jordan, I'll take Ethan to get his beast egg. You can cover for me after my shift ends." The staff member then led Ethan down a corridor until they reached a room specifically designed to replicate an optimal incubation environment for ice-type eggs. Stepping inside the chamber, a thick, palpable chill immediately rushed out to meet him. The staff member visibly shivered with apprehension, but Ethan felt only a profound sense of comfort. "Ethan, it's too cold in here, I shouldn't go in," the staff member cautioned. "Just wait outside until you've made your selection, and we will handle the registration." That's what the staff said. Ethan nodded, making an OK sign with his hand before walking into the room alone. The temperature inside was merely approximate, not the absolute perfect condition for incubation, so the eggs were housed in specialized incubators, arranged with impeccable precision. Beneath each unit, detailed information glowed: name, cold insect egg, life status good, highest adulthood tier, upper tier 1, price 280,000 blue star coins, incubation time, expected within 2 weeks. This was the data for one egg. Ethan walked slowly through the display, He noted that some eggs could be purchased with blue star coins, while others demanded academic credits. Even a code-insect egg whose adult form only reached the first-level advanced stage was affordable with currency. Eggs reaching Tier 3 or higher required the much rarer academic credits. Within this room, the highest tier egg displayed was 4th tier upper level. While significantly inferior to the Deepwater Dragon Cub of Clara, or the Gale Eagle of Daniel the Beasts owned by other wealthy freshman competitors, a 4th tier high-level egg commanded nearly 400 credits. This was a value Ethan could not afford to ignore. Despite his stellar performance in the competition, he had only earned 1,000 credits. For him, saving such a substantial sum felt like a major victory. After careful consideration, Ethan finally settled on an egg labeled Ice Shard Serpent Egg. The information panel illuminated before him: name, Ice Shard Snake Egg, life status good, highest adulthood tier, upper 4th tier, price 475 credits, incubation time, expected within 3 days. With his selection made, Ethan pressed the activation button. Immediately, a specialized incubator hissed open, and he gently lifted out the Ice Shard Snake Egg. The egg was breathtaking, a deep ice blue shell adorned with crystalline blue stars, giving it an ethereal beauty. It felt surprisingly heavy in his hand. Its size was almost half of Ethan's own torso. Ethan narrowed his eyes, a sudden flicker of something unreadable crossing his face. What did he see? He saw that the egg had 600 evolution points and indicated that the ice-sharp snake, unhatched, would hatch immediately. The incubation countdown showed 48 hours remaining. He rubbed his eyes, certain the panel was real, it had not vanished. Could the Ice Shard Serpent also have its stats increased? He wondered aloud. Could its adult form even break through to a final stage? A sudden thought struck him, making his heart race. What if its form changed? What if it became a giant python? Or even... After all, Caterpie could transform into Rayquaza. Ethan first shook his head, dismissing the lingering haze of introspection. It was too early for such musings. He needed to focus on the immediate task, registering the Ice Shard Snake Egg first, and only then could they discuss its future. He carried the crystalline egg toward the counter. Ethan, once you sign this form it will be yours, the staff member confirmed with a practiced ease. Ethan glanced over the document, his gaze sharp and meticulous. Only after confirming every detail was accurate did he affix his signature. Eggs capable of hatching within 3 days no longer required such stringent incubation. They merely needed careful attention until their time came. He stored the ice-sharp egg in his spatial ring. Ethan. Just as he turned to leave, a voice called him back. Is there anything else? Ethan paused, turning with a look of mild confusion. My daughter is a great admirer of yours. Would you mind signing an autograph for her? The staff member offered an awkward smile, producing a piece of cardboard and a pen. Your admirer? Ethan raised an eyebrow, a hint of amusement in his tone. An autograph. Of course. He nodded slightly, accepting the materials. With practiced grace, he wrote neatly on the card, wishing you happiness every day. Ethan. Thank you so much. The staff member's face lit up with genuine joy, and they bowed deeply in gratitude. With that, Ethan left the beast egg sales area. After departing the sale point, he returned to his dormitory. He switched on the air conditioner in his room and placed the ice snake eggs inside. With the system panel providing precise reminders, Ethan knew exactly when the hatching would occur. Eliminate any worry about a newly hatched companion slipping away. Ethan, come to my residence. A message flashed from Thomas. Understood, teacher. Ethan replied instantly. They left the dormitory together and headed toward Thomas's home. Inside Thomas's elegant residence, he gestured toward a plush sofa beside him. Ethan, you're here. Please sit down. Ethan obeyed, settling onto the cushions. Ethan, you did an exceptional job. Winning first place in the freshman competition was a massive boost to me. Thomas chuckled, clapping Ethan heartily on the shoulder. It is all thanks to your excellent guidance, teacher. Ethan replied smoothly. You are quite the smooth talker. Thomas realized immediately that Ethan was paying him compliments, but he found it useful. Flattery had to be deployed selectively. If an ordinary student from the Ice Academy dared to flatter him, it would only provoke resentment. Thomas relaxed instantly. Ethan, just name any reward you desire. I will do my utmost to help you in every way I can." Since Thomas had offered so freely, Ethan did not hesitate. A flash of light emanated from his spatial ring, and a thick skill book materialized between them. It was the SSS-level tome, Extreme Ice Illusion Killing Array, that Robert had given him recently. "This must have come from old Robert, right?" Thomas blurted out. Ethan realized this was how Teacher Thomas addressed Principal Robert. Ethan emitted simply. "He retrieved this skill book from a secret realm," Thomas explained. "At the time, I thought old Robert sell it to me for a low price, a mere 150 million, since it was useless to him anyway. But he absolutely refused, even arguing that this is prepared for a destined person." He smiled mysteriously. "As it turns out, this destined person turned out to be my student." Thomas's lips curved into an amused smile. "Ethan, I haven't learned this skill before, but I can still teach you the basics. You can master the rest on your own." "Thank you, teacher. I promise not let you down." Ethan thanked him quickly. "Teaching you this skill shouldn't be considered a reward. It is simply my responsibility as a mentor." Thomas corrected gently. "Do you have any other thoughts?" Ethan shook his head. "This disciple has not decided yet. No rush. Take your time to consider it. You can bring it up whenever you are ready. Know that my commitment to you is permanent." Thomas's expression was one of infinite patience. "Also," Ethan continued, recalling a previous conversation, "my body tempering technique has already broken through to the second level. Could you advise me on what I need to focus on for the third?" The ability to cultivate in advance was undeniably beneficial, as it would reduce the evolution points consumed during the final breakthrough. Hearing this, Thomas's previously amused expression became thoughtful. His own disciple was achieving two things at once: rapidly advancing his cultivation level while mastering a complex body tempering technique. "Excellent," he thought to himself. Such a prodigy. The more he looked at Ethan, the deeper his satisfaction grew. In tempering technique, we must temper both the 12 regular meridians and the 8 extraordinary meridians. Completing refinement of these 20 meridians signifies reaching the third level, Thomas explained. The process is akin to tempering one's organs. Taking the Bodhi tempering technique mysterious nether eye soul Bodhi as a reference, you must guide your yuan energy through the body, making it impact and cleanse the meridians, continuously strengthening and reshaping them. At this point, the circulation path of your yuan energy will become remarkably complete. He leaned forward slightly, his voice dropping with emphasis. After breaking through to the third level, your control over yuan energy will be like a fish in water, a whole new plane. You will be able to allocate and manage that power within your body with exquisite rationality. Thomas recounted the process in vivid detail. Ethan listened intently, absorbing every word. "You are correct," Thomas murmured, flicking his wrist. A tiny, almost imperceptible shard of ice flew out, so small that even its passage through the air was silent. Incon's flower bud housed within a distant vase seemed to tremble and break open. Ethan's pupils widened slightly. "With diligent practice and your innate aptitude, you will soon reach that level yourself," Thomas assured him. "Professor Thomas, the dishes are ready." The butler's voice drifted in from the kitchen. Thomas smiled, a different kind of warmth entering his eyes. "Ethan, I'm in a good mood today. Would you care for a couple of drinks with me?" "Of course I would be willing." Ethan agreed. With his current physical condition, ordinary alcohol was useless against him. Even potent baijiu, he felt confident he could consume 10 or even 20 bottles without issue. After following Thomas into the kitchen, time seemed to accelerate. Ethan soon realized how profoundly naive he had been. The liquid teacher Thomas poured was neither beer nor standard spirits. It was a wine brewed from 2 exotic tree fruits, the snake fruit and the bewitching fruit, and its alcohol content was undeniably potent. After the first glass, Ethan felt a pleasant warmth spread through him. After the second, his consciousness began to soften at the edges, and he eventually slumped onto the table. "Butler," Thomas called out, his voice smooth and measured. "Please take Ethan to the guest room." He then poured another cup for himself. The next day dawned near noon when Ethan finally peeled open his heavy eyelids, a slow, reluctant process of waking up. A profound blankness settled over his mind, like mist clinging to glass. He looked around and a sudden chill of disorientation washed over him. This was not the familiar comfort of his own room. Where was he? Confusion clouded Ethan's gaze until he slapped his forehead in a sharp, self-reproaching gesture. The memory slammed back the haze of alcohol, the 2 glasses of wine from yesterday. He murmured, piecing together the fragments. This is Thomas's residence. With this realization grounding him, he finally pushed himself out of bed and left the room. Ethan, you're awake. Lunch is almost ready, come eat with us. In the bright living room on the ground floor, Thomas stood up, a faint, gentle smile gracing his lips. A flush of deep embarrassment crept across Ethan's face. He had promised only a couple of drinks yesterday, and somehow, he had managed 2. After lunch, the 2 retreated to the training room within the estate. Thomas provided meticulous guidance on meridian tempering, while together they delved into the skill book, Extreme Ice Illusion Killing Array. Hours dissolved in a blur of focused effort and shared knowledge. 4 hours had vanished in the blink of an eye. Ethan, Thomas said, his tone laced with genuine concern. If anything remains unclear, please feel free to come to me anytime. Understood, teacher. Ethan nodded slightly, leaving the warmth of Thomas's residence behind him. Once away from the estate, Ethan headed straight for the Crystal Spire Hall. Though the freshman competition had concluded, it was a time when many students would simply breathe and recover. But Ethan refused to let his guard drop. The recent tournament was merely a prelude. What about the annual competitions between the 4 top universities? Soon, he would be facing the elite freshmen from rival schools. Moreover, this prestigious contest for the nation's best was being held at Athagard Academy. With Principal Song and Teacher Thomas placing such immense importance on his performance, Ethan could not afford to let the school lose face. On his way to the Glacier Archive, his phone vibrated softly in his pocket, signaling a new notification. He stopped the shared electric scooter, unlocked the screen, and scanned the message. It was from the Heart of Aethelgard Academy app. After clicking through, the full details unfolded before him. Ethan, I am a Dean of the Combat Academy at Aethelgard Academy. I will be responsible for crafting your weapon. Please use this number 195 followed by 8 digits. We can discuss your specific needs over the phone. Hayes, the Dean of a Martial Arts Academy, personally crafting me a weapon. Ethan raised an eyebrow, a wave of unexpected flattery washing over him. He felt remarkably good about himself. Next, he dialed the number Hayes had provided. The rhythmic beep-beep of the ringing caused his heart to quicken slightly. The call was answered in less than 5 seconds. Hello, Dan Hayes. This is Ethan. I wanted to discuss some issues regarding weapon manufacturing. Ethan cut straight to the chase. Hello. As far as I know, you utilize a spear. What are your requirements for it? For instance, its weight, length, etc. Hayes' voice was crisp and professional on the other end. The length should be 2.9 meters, a bit longer than my current model. As for the weight, Ethan paused, gathering his thoughts carefully. My current comfortable grip weight is between 76 and 84 kilograms. Understood. I have noted that down. Is there anything else you require? Hayes prompted. There is one more requirement. The spearhead and shaft must be detachable. Is that possible? Ethan considered his words before asking. A slight pause stretched across the line. Ethan, are you attempting to extend the lifespan of this weapon, aren't you? No problem at all. Hayes replied smoothly, a hint of amusement in his tone. This request was child's play for him. He was a 7th level mid-level grandmaster, and a master-level blacksmith. Dear of Lummas thing, Ethan. The S-level resource you received as a reward for winning first place in the freshman competition is ice vein or crystal. If you need it, I can incorporate it into this spear, Hayes added. Wes, Ethan replied after a moment's thought. We do need to. These ice vein mineral crystals couldn't be ingested for cultivation, but they were invaluable raw material for weapon forging. That is all for now, Ethan. I will hang up. I'll send you some pictures later so you can choose a design, Hayes said, preparing to end the call. Thank you very much for your help, Din Hayes. Eden didn't forget the courtesy. Very bye. Hayes disconnected the line. A new spear. A powerful sense of anticipation bloomed in Ethan's chest after hanging up. The Crystal Spire Superpowers Hall was cool and echoing. As soon as he entered, a staff member recognized him with genuine enthusiasm. Congratulations, Ethan, on winning first place in the freshman competition. Ethan offered a polite smile in return, then asked, "You have any devices here that allow access to virtual reality?" "Yes," the staff member replied. "However, it is quite expensive, 50,000 blue star coins per hour." "It's fine," Ethan said immediately. "I want to try." 50,000 blue star coins might have made him hesitate moments ago, but now the cost was negligible. "Haha," the staff member chuckled. "The first place winner of the freshman competition. How could you possibly be short on such a small sum?" With a smile, he guided to the virtual reality station inside the hall. What came into view was a massive white chair. On it rested a pristine white helmet, connected by an intricate web of colorful wires, making it look densely technological. Next to the seat were various grooves carved into the floor, and surrounding structures, each filled with different colored crystals clearly intended for replenishing elemental energy. "Ethan," the staff member explained briefly, "just lie down in this chair and put the helmet on." "Good." Ethan nodded, settled onto the seat, and placed the helmet over his head. The instant the helmet sealed around him, a dizzying wave washed over his senses. When Ethan opened his eyes again, he was no longer in the Crystal Spire Hall. He stood within a virtual space. "Welcome, virtual reality." A mechanical sound rang out, echoing continuously through the boundless digital expanse. Ethan instinctively pinched his face. The touch was almost 100% realistic, leaving him momentarily breathless with amazement. He quickly surveyed the area. Unfortunately, this simulation felt stripped down. Scene generation could not be done at will.